Tonight, we'll discuss how an affair caused much drama in a small town. We'll dive deep into how it rocked the lives of all who were involved. You may even learn that someone thought murder was their best chance at revenge. It's the case of Shawna Nelson, right now on Love and Murder. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Love and Murder, the weekly true crime podcast discussing relationships gone terribly wrong, where our motto is, you're either someone's last love or their first murder. Today, I am host Kai, all by my lonesome. Well, I'm always Kai, but today I'm alone. Our show discusses true crime cases told in the form of a story, with mystery, suspense, and just a tiny bit of humor sprinkled on top, but never at the expense of the victim. Be sure to subscribe to Love and Murder on whatever platform you're on, as well as give us a 5-star review right now so you don't forget. If you're new here, then obviously listen to the episode first, and then please rate us. Also, welcome. In today's episode, we discuss why infidelity is a horrible idea. But first, I wanted to remind you to head on over to our exclusive group at patreon.com/loveandmurder, where the last bonus episode we had was co-host Rick telling us more about himself. In that episode, I had a laughing fit that was no lie, about 3 minutes long. And if you want to find out why, go ahead and head on over to our Patreon. Like I said, www.patreon.com/loveandmurder, and subscribe to get all that. And I'll tell you more about Patreon later. Now, on to the show. Shawna Louise Bunce was born in October 1st, 1971 in Greenlee, Colorado. She was given to her biological aunt as her mother felt that she was incapable of raising a child. Shawna did not know this until she graduated high school in 1990, but this had a really heavy effect on her. Her friend, Janet Rotello, said, quote, "She was upset that it was kept from her and just the fact that she was lied to for so long." In 1992, Shawna took a job working as a 911 dispatcher for Weld County. During this time, she fell for Ken Nelson, who was a sheriff deputy at the time. They were dating by 1995, got married by 96, and had 2 children. Shawna also had a lot of friends at work, including another sheriff deputy, Michellemoore. Michelle and Shawna often went out for drinks with their co-workers and other members of the emergency services community. Michelle would also babysit Shawna and Ken's children frequently in order for them to, go out and be a couple, have dates, keep the marriage strong and everything. In 2004, when Weld County and Greenlee combined their 911 workforces, Shawna met Detective Ignacio Guerraros. I think that's how you say it. Ignacio was called Ig by his friends, and although I'm not his friend and never met him, I'm going to go ahead and call him Ig also. According to Ig, he and Shawna would see each other around town a lot. The two eventually got really, really close and started confiding in each other about their own marital issues. Which, we all know what? This is not a good idea at all. Shawna was having problems with Ken at this time, and apparently Ig was having issues with his wife Heather as well. And let's say it all together, lambs. What does this lead to? 1, 2, 3. An affair. Yeah, basically everyone saw that coming. Shawna and Ig's co-workers soon caught wind of their affair, and until 2005, Ken didn't know about it. When he did find out, he obviously asked for a divorce. Shawna then moved into an apartment with the kids. Her social life at this time mainly consisted of seeing Michelle, as usual, and still having sex with Ig, I guess as usual? I'm just wondering, shouldn't she be home taking care of her kids through this difficult time that basically she caused? Ig, on the other hand, kept the affair hidden from Heather as he had no intention of leaving her. Shocker. He would act the part of a loving husband, visiting his wife at work with flowers. Then at night, he would meet up with Shawna to, hook up. Call. In July of 2005, Shawna ended up getting pregnant. We didn't see that coming at all. Now, whose baby do you think this was? Obviously, it was Ig's baby. And being that Ig was married and he wasn't trying to get in any relationship or leave his wife, guess what he did? He asked her to have an abortion. Yes, he did. But Shawna said, nope. Shawna, probably feeling down and unwanted, tried to get back with Ken, who agreed to give their marriage another shot. Ken, what are you doing? He even started to raise the baby as his own. Ken. So baby Christian was born in March of 2006. In the meantime, Ig told his wife about the affair. I guess, he didn't have a choice. Heather agreed to continue their marriage if he broke things off with Shawna. Being that Shawna was not his main focus, Ig immediately called her and said, deuces, I can't do this. I love my wife. I don't want to lose my family. And, he had to stop this. Notice that he just basically turned his back on his kid. I just didn't want that to go unnoticed. Heather, by the way, was sitting there watching him call Shawna and listen to the call too. Ig then gave Shawna and Ken complete custody of Christian and waived all his parental rights at a court hearing that December. Wow. Just wow. For some reason, this enraged Shawna. I mean, why are you mad? You decided to have an affair with a married man. You knew he wasn't going to leave his wife. Not that he's right for this, but why is she surprised? I'm just confused. Not long after this, Shawna started sending threats to Ig and his wife. She would threaten Heather through voicemails, which, for some reason, Heather didn't take seriously. No, if somebody's threatening me, I'm taking it pretty seriously. If they're calling and leaving threatening messages, I'm sending that to the cops, immediately. No, I'm not going to be like, oh, they're playing. No. People are crazy. Ig would receive messages saying things like, you broke my heart. You effed me. You be prepared. So basically, yeah, I'm calling the cops because this person sounds crazy and I'm not going to be like, oh, well, she's harmless. She's just, no. On the evening of January 23rd, 2007, Heather was leaving her job at the Colorado State Employee Credit Union. She was in the parking lot with her coworkers when a hooded figure wearing a Grim Reaper mask came out with a gun. The figure told Heather to get down on her knees and told her, quote, you ruined my life, end quote. The person then shot Heather twice in the back of the head. Wait, weren't people around? 911 was called, but Heather was pronounced dead 30 minutes later. At the time, she was 37. I'm just wondering if, like I said, weren't people around because this person just blatantly did that with just everybody standing there. That's, wow. When police arrived, all of the witnesses said that the killer had to be Shawna. Yeah, basically, who else would have said that? Heather's co-workers knew about the affair and believed that no one else had the motive to kill her. Heather's friend, Carol Rose, said, quote, my mind immediately thought Shawna. She was the only person that could have possibly done or had the motive to do anything. They described the killer as wearing black clothes. The call went out for Shawna, and at the time of the call, Ken was in the squad room briefing, so he heard it. He and his partner, Kel Halsey, rushed to his house. On the way there, they actually ran into Shawna, who was driving Ken's personal truck. Ken flagged her down and said, get out of the vehicle. What have you done? At the same time, some high school kids were coming from the school and they actually witnessed the stop. When Shawna got out of the car, she was wearing all black and had no shoes on. The high schooler said that Ken had gone into the truck and gotten something out, but his partner said he didn't see this happening. Shawna was taken into custody where she said that she didn't even know that Heather had died. She had no clue, and that she was just on her way to the liquor store when Ken stopped her. Now, upon searching the vehicle, a Grim Reaper mask was found under the seat, and bloody shoes were found like 700 feet away from the stop. Remember, she didn't have shoes on at the time. So they tested the shoes and found her DNA, Heather's DNA, and gun residue on the shoes. So, investigation, the gun used to murder Heather couldn't be found, but it was thought to be Ken's Glock, basically his police gun. Ken was later arrested for taking the gun, but the charges were dropped because they couldn't actually prove he took it. So basically, remember when the kids said they saw him take something out of the truck? They're thinking that he realized she used his gun, and so that he wouldn't get implicated, that's what he took out of the truck. But nobody could prove that because the gun could never be found.
Looking for compassionate true crime? This is Method and Madness, a true crime podcast with a purpose. Shedding light on injustice and advocating for change. Join me, Dawn, as I take you on a journey of immersive storytelling and pose questions to get you to think about the method of the mind, the madness that ensues. We're going deep into the evidence, examining lesser-known cases, all while focusing on the victims and the survivors. Dive in to Method and Madness, available wherever you get your podcasts.
You know what time it is. Cliffhanger Kai's back to give you your weekly reminder to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And you know we will be grateful if you would leave us a 5-star review on the platform of your choice. Also, come on over and join us at our exclusive Lamb community at Patreon at www.patreon.com/loveandmurder. Once you become a subscriber, you get access to commercial-free episodes so you don't have to hear this interruption ever again. Crazy Crime Corner, Love Obsession, Serial Killer Corner, Getting to Know the Hosts, Behind the Scene, True Crime Games, and so much more. We have so much fun over there, so come on and join us, starting at only $1 a month. But our most popular tier is the No Murder tier at only $5 a month. Don't miss out, www.patreon.com/loveandmurder. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, we'll give you 5 seconds to subscribe so you don't miss out on new episodes over there. You know how much we like the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now, back to the show. Bullet cases were found at the scene and they matched a Glock. The DNA test that was completed on the bullet cases told investigators that it was handled by a female. When the shells were fired, they overheated and wiped out some of the DNA, so all that they could tell was it was handled by a female. That's literally all I could tell. Shawna was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. While interviewing friends and associates, the police questioned Michellemoore. Michelle claimed that she didn't know anything about anything. She says she didn't know anything about the shooting, and she didn't think that Shawna held any animosity towards Heather. Well, detectives didn't believe her, and she was arrested in November of 2007, which was actually the eve of Shawna's murder trial. She was charged with conspiracy and attempt to commit first-degree murder. It didn't take long for Michelle to tell police everything, but I thought you didn't know anything. So Michelle decided, look, I'm not going down with you, and I'm going to sing like a bird. She told police about, quote, a discussion with Shawna Nelson where they spoke about leaving misleading evidence at the scene, which would contain someone else's DNA, end quote. So basically, what that sounds like is she was trying to set up her husband. So she used his gun. I think she had on his shoes, and I didn't say that before. She had on his shoes, and she used his car. So all that leads me to believe that she was trying to set up her husband. Due to this new evidence, Shawna's trial was pushed back because now they have new information. They got to scramble. They got to, figure everything else out. And I guess the lawyer that's representing her now has to come up with a different story. On February 21st, 2008, Shawna's trial began. The prosecution started their opening statement by saying that they had more than enough evidence to convict Shawna of the crime. During the trial, Michelle confessed that Shawna confided in her about killing Heather. They discussed the plan together in great detail. Michelle then went on to detail how they would hide Shawna's identity and plant the evidence to frame someone else. The credit union employees described the killer and also helped pin Shawna for the crime, as she was the one in the possession of the clothes matching the assailant at the time of her arrest. It looks like, allegedly, like I said, that she was going to set Ken up for the murder. Like I said before. Just like Ken said, quote, "Why else would she be wearing my underwear, wearing my socks, my baseball cap, and drive my truck that she hated? Is there any other explanation for that? Because I can't think of one." End quote. In Shawna's defense, she claimed that her and Michelle had been lovers, and Michelle's testimony was just to get back at her for ending their relationship. Quote, "I was driving Michelle home and told her that I could no longer have a sexual relationship with her. I still loved her and wanted to be friends, but that I couldn't keep on lying to Ken." End quote. This supposedly made Michelle very upset, but Michelle testified that, nah, that's basically what she said. Quote unquote, nah. But no, Michelle actually testified that they had never had a relationship. She said, "I've never been in a relationship with her. What is she talking about?" So for her involvement in the murder of Heather Garraus, that last name is hard for me, so I apologize. You could tell me in the comments below if I'm saying it wrong. So anyway, for her involvement in the murder of Heather, Shawna pleaded, what did she plead, everyone? Say it with me. 1, 2, 3. Not guilty. Really. In February of 2007, Ig, who at this time was a 16-year veteran of the police force, resigned from his position. He stated, quote, "A beautiful woman's dead for me having an affair. The chain of events that I had no way of foreseeing. But ultimately, if I never had an affair, Heather would be alive. It's on me." End quote. On March 3rd of 2008, the jury found Shawna guilty of first-degree murder. She was given the maximum sentence of life in prison. There was no possibility of parole. Shawna reportedly showed literally no emotion during the verdict and declined to speak before the sentence was given. She will remain behind bars at the Denver Women's Correctional Facility. Michelle was sentenced to 9 years in prison with 3 years of mandatory parole. While she was originally charged with conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, her charge was lightened to accessory to a crime after she agreed to testify against Shawna. Like I said, she was like, "You ain't taking me down with you. Nope. Ig and his daughter, Victoria, moved away shortly after. Sadly, in 2015, Victoria died in an unfortunate car event. She was buried with Heather. She was allegedly residing in Florida at the time. However, Ig's whereabouts are unknown. As of 2002, Michellemoore has served her 9-year sentence and 3 years of parole, and she's been released. Shawna has only served 14 years of her life sentence. Ken has divorced Shawna, of course, and is now living with his 3 children out of state. They never think how this affects the other people in their life. Now your 3 children are without you, and they know what you did. You didn't think about that. You were thinking about what you wanted. So anyways, that is the case of Shawna Nelson. Shawna was jealous and someone paid the price of infidelity. What did y'all think about this case? Do you think Ig is as much to blame as Shawna? Let us know in the comments below. Personally, I think that all of the blame for the murder is on her, but they shouldn't have been having an affair in the first place, obviously. I know that Ig is feeling immense guilt because of this, but I can't help to think about the children. You know what I'm saying? I just wonder how all of the children are taking this. Fortunately, Ig's daughter is dead, which I know he's also probably blaming himself for that. But I'm also talking about Shawna and Ken's children. How are they dealing with all of this? If you like this episode, then head on over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and rate us 5 stars over there. You can also download Good Pods and rate us there too. You can say whatever you want in the description, but what it does is help bring us up in the charts so others can find us just like you did. Don't forget to subscribe to Love and Murder Podcast on whatever platform you listen on so that you don't miss an episode. We do have a new segment coming up this Wednesday called Basically Detectives, and you don't want to miss that. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to visit us on Patreon to become an exclusive member of the Lamb community. You get commercial-free, full-length episodes, early releases of Love and Murder, as well as some extras of whatever case we're covering. So if it has the murder scene, paperwork, text, all of that, you'll get that in our Patreon. You also get bonus content like cases about love obsessions or cases with the craziest crimes or even serial killer corner. You also get whole stories like the one we just had last week, behind the scenes, and so much more. Sometimes I just pop in there with a random post about an article that I just read. Now, if you join us, we do have options started at only $1 a month. However, the best option is the $5 a month. So come on over. Follow us on social media at Facebook.com/relationship crime, Instagram at Love Murder Podcast. Join our Facebook fan group by searching Love and Murder fan page in Google or Facebook, or simply clicking the link in the show notes below. You need to find our awesome merch. Yeah, I didn't sing it tonight, I know. By going to our website, www.murderandlove.com, and clicking on our shop in the menu above. And an easy and free way to help us out is by simply sharing this episode. Just hit that share button and share with anyone you'd like. And as always, we end each episode by reminding you, well, this is where Rick usually reminds you to lock your doors at night, but both of us always remind you that it's all love and no murder, y'all. Bye.